Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. You are currently looking at some absolutely beautiful coins between the years of 1909 and 1916. And that is exactly what this video is all about. Beautiful coins between those 2 years. Why? Because those were the years that they made matte proof Lincoln Wheat Cents. And we're going to explain the difference between what a matte proof Lincoln Wheat Cent should look like and what a business strike actually looks like, and how you tell the difference between the two. If you can believe it, not one of the Lincoln Wheat Cents that you have looked at since the beginning of this video is actually a matte proof. The first thing everybody makes the mistake of looking for a matte proof is the orange peel look to the fields. That's what every single one of these coins has actually displayed, and every single one of them is nothing more than a business strike coin. Before we get too far into this, I need to impress upon everybody watching one really important factor here. And that one really important factor may cause you guys to not want to watch the rest of this video at all. And I'm okay with that. Would I love it if you guys would watch till the end and learn more about the differences between matte proof and business strike Lincoln Wheat Cents? Yep, I would. However, let's talk about this. The Facebook pages that I'm a part of are constantly filled with people posting pictures of 1909 VDBs or 1916s. And what they're posting is, hey, look at the rim on this. Hey, look at the field on this. Look at the details of this coin. All right. These numbers right here are the mintage numbers for the matte proof Lincoln Wheat Cent series. Those numbers are important because if you look at them, they are tiny, absolutely tiny, as compared to the mintage numbers for the business strike versions of the same year. Now, let's take into account survivability numbers. When it comes to the matte proof Lincoln Cent series, those particular years are thought to have no more than between 25 and 50% maximum, absolutely maximum, of the number of coins that were minted and distributed as being surviving 110 years plus into the future from when they went out. All right. That means that your chances of finding a matte proof coin in circulation or a circulated version of it in a pile of coins or a box of coins or an old collection somewhere are virtually zero. If you compare the survivability numbers of the business strike coins to the survivability numbers and percentages of matte proof coins, just by sheer number, watching the rest of this video really doesn't need to happen. I know I'm talking myself right out of a video here, right? And I'm okay with that, like I said. But you need to understand that before we can go anywhere further forward. So if you want to continue forward with this video, please do so, and I will do my best to explain the differences between a matte proof coin and a business strike coin. As you guys have noticed, the image behind me has changed, and that's because I had to film this particular video in two different segments on two different days in order to make sure that I had all of my nuts and bolts and information correct for you. So, with that, let's go ahead and plow forward. So, one of the easiest ways to discern whether or not you have a matte proof Lincoln Wheat Cent is a little thing called a die marker. Now, die markers, in order to understand where they come from, when a die is originally made, it is produced and then goes on to make coins. But before it even goes on to make coins, in the instance of matte proof coins, for example, The die itself was actually sandblasted to give it that matte texture. In the process of sandblasting it, some of the debris that was left over from sandblasting had to be wiped away and cleaned up on the coin die's surface. In the process of doing that, markers are created or die scratches. Those die scratches then go on to actually imprint themselves on the surface of the coins that that particular die is making. It is extremely important to punctuate the importance of die markers when trying to identify a matte-proof Lincoln Wheat Cent, because these die markers come from dies that were used to make only matte-proof coins. And in some instances, only one die or die pair was actually used to make all of the matte-proof coins for that particular year. As you can see by this list that's currently going on the screen, very few years have multiple die pairs that were used to create matte-proof coins. All right, with that said, now you understand why matching all of the die markers on a particular coin is extremely important in verifying whether or not you have a matte-proof Lincoln Wheat Cent. Now, there are other markers that show up on matte-proof coins that are actually found between matte-proof coins and business strike coins. These markers are what are known as relic markers. I will explain a little bit about them in just a minute. So, what is a relic? What is a relic marker? Well, everybody knows what relics are. Relics are things left over from something else long ago. In the case of a relic marker, that's a little bit different. It's a marker that's left over from a die or a hub that was used to make the die. In other words, it actually didn't originate and isn't only found on one particular die, it's found on multiple working dies. And the only way it can be found on multiple working dies is if it was originally found on, say, the working hub, or in some cases, not that a lot of people want to admit to thinking this far back, but it's possible that the master die or the master hub may actually have some of these on it. Now, there's going to be a few people that are probably going to give me a bunch of crap about trying to say that master dies and master hubs got polished. And in reality, they probably didn't, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those markers didn't show up on a working hub as they cleaned and polished the working hub. No, just stay there because I'm recording, so this is going to go in the video. This is going to go in the video. My wife is having fun with this particular thing, so I'm only going to show you a little bit of this, but yeah. Okay, anyway, back to this. So what you're going to see on your screen in a second is actually a couple of different coins that both show the same die markers. And what's so interesting about both of these coins is the fact that the coin to my left, right here, is actually a proof 1909 Lincoln Wheat Cent, and the coin on my right is a 1909 Business Strike Lincoln Wheat Cent. As you can see, the markers exist on both of these coins, and that means that it's definitely not a proof die making a business strike because those have never been found. So it has to only be one thing, and those are relic markers. Just because you find markers that you think exist on all coins does not mean that you have a matte proof Lincoln Cent. It just means that you have relic markers. The other very common misconception and pictures that I see all the time on the Facebook pages are people that are displaying coins from the early 1900s for Lincoln cents, and they have a square rim on them. they immediately think that because it has a square rimmed look to it, that it is going to be a matte proof Lincoln cent. And that is not the case. While a square rim is extremely important on a matte proof, as you can see in this picture right here, there's a business strike right next to a matte proof. The business strike coin has a very slightly rounded over corner or profile to the very outer edge of it, whereas the matte proof does not. It's extremely square. You'll also notice that the edges or the rim of the coin is much shinier than a business strike. And the reason for this is because the coin itself is actually struck with 60,000 pounds of pressure versus a business strike coin being struck with only 6,000 pounds of pressure. Now, as a result, that means that the metal flowing to the outer edges of the coin that is held in place by the collar it's being squeezed very tightly up against that collar, and that's what's creating the extremely shiny, smooth, and well struck squared rim that you see on a matte proof cent. With coins that are only struck with 6,000 pounds of pressure, they still will have or could have a very square, flat obverse and reverse rim. But if you look closely, you'll notice that the edge rounds over rather than being completely square at the very outer corners. To highlight this point of the square rim, I'm going to throw up on the screen a picture or a couple of pictures of a particular coin that I have that most people would look at and immediately say that has got to be a matte proof Lincoln wheat cent because the rim is so incredibly square and flat all the way around the surface of the coin. I mean, this rim literally looks like this all the way around the coin. But when you find out that this particular coin is a 1922D Lincoln cent, you obviously know there is no way that this could be a matte proof Lincoln cent. Hopefully, if you guys have made it all the way through this video, you have learned that there are similarities between matte proof Lincoln wheat cents and business strike Lincoln wheat cents. It doesn't mean that what you're looking at on your coin is going to make it a matte proof coin. Just because it has square rims does not mean it is a matte proof. Just because it has a textured surface doesn't mean that it is a matte proof. And just because it has some corresponding markers between your coin and a matte proof coin does not mean it is a matte proof. And with that, I am going to simply say thank you very much for watching this video. I do greatly appreciate it. I really hope that you guys have learned something from it. If you have, please, please, please do me a favor and hit the like button because the YouTube channel definitely enjoys those likes. And if you will, subscribe to the channel so that you can also get more information in your feed when it comes to more videos that become available. And that's where the notification bell will definitely chime you in and let you know that I have created more content for you guys to look at. So thank you very much. Again, I do appreciate it. Have a very good evening.